So we're going to be checking out a tour of the USS Midway. Now I'm very interested in checking this out. So from what I believe, this is a former aircraft carrier that's now a museum, so you can go around it and tour it. Just before we start it, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. It massively helps out the channel we're growing. But yeah, let's just jump into it and press play.
After seeing Top Gun Maverick in San Diego at the biggest IMAX theater I could find, Dad and I visited the USS Midway.
Wow, I can already see the planes on top.
This gigantic decommissioned aircraft carrier is named for the historic U.S. naval victory at Midway Island against the Empire of Japan in World War II. U.S. carrier planes sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers in the span of a few days in June 1942 and turned the tide decisively in the Pacific Theater.
Okay, so this ship's got history.
At the time it steamed out of the shipyard, the Midway was the largest ship in the world and held the title until 1955.
Largest
it is also
in the world.
The longest-serving aircraft carrier of the 20th century, 1945 to 1992. The tour starts after you climb the stairs and enter.
But I remember when we watched the other video, the new aircraft carrier is going to last 90 years. 90 years is crazy. But yeah, interesting that they last so long.
For the hangar bay, which is an enormous metal cavern housing aircraft from nearly every generation.
Oh, right.
The Douglas Dauntless dive bomber is the first plane next to the entrance to the hangar deck. Its prominent location, I can only assume, is because it's the plane type responsible for sinking those 4 Japanese carriers.
Oh, okay.
As you continue, you pass by the...
So this is how it normally is on the ship. So when the planes ain't on the top, they put them down here. I didn't see that in the other video, so I didn't know where they put the planes. It makes more sense now. So all the planes can be stored underneath in a safe place. It's cool to just see a little tour of this place and what it looks like. Like I said, I'd love to go in and actually do the tour in person.
The heavyweights of naval aviation history. The TBM Avenger, F4F Wildcat, the Texan, A1 Skyraider, and others.
Man, he knows his planes.
Dad and I immediately gravitated to the line for the disembodied F-14.
Oh, cool. You could get into one.
The whole museum was slammed with people for the Memorial Day weekend, but we felt we had to weather the crowds because we were so hopped up on Top Gun thrills.
I think definitely if I went there, I don't care if there's a queue. I don't care if there's a queue. I'm gonna get in a queue. I've got to get in that plane. I just got to get in it just to sit in there, pretend a little bit of Top Gun action going on there. You know, yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh man, oh that's sweet. Rudder pedals.
Man, there's so many buttons there.
Inside the old Tomcat, we took turns pretending to be Maverick and Goose. All the surfaces were pretty grainy from the thousands of gross kid hands, but it felt righteous all the same.
Man, if they close the cockpit lid, that's pretty tight.
So this is a real plane.
Get a little room around your helmet. That's it.
Yeah. Jeez.
Could you start it up? They leave the key inside.
Jeez.
It's just surprising how many buttons there are. How many fins they must do.
Interesting. So you don't get a stick back here, huh?
We headed up to the flight deck and strolled around the jets arranged along the length of the ship.
See, now,
we encountered some we'd never heard of before.
This is cool to go up here.
Like the RA-5 Vigilante, a nuclear bomber turned reconnaissance jet from the Vietnam era, and the F-9F Panther, a carrier-based Korean War era fighter.
20mm cannons.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, it's up to get hit by something with that caliber.
Beside a full-sized Hawkeye was another cockpit chopped off of some other decommissioned E-2.
Oh, you can get in this one as well?
Dad and I clambered in and tried once more to imagine landing.
I think definitely I'd love to go to here because you could get into the planes and just sit in the pilot seat and just kind of imagine it, what it would have been like to actually fly that plane. That's really cool that they've got those pieces there that you can get inside and actually have a look because, yeah, they just look mad. Look at all these instruments. There's so many instruments there, different buttons and everything. Man, you got to have some skill. Like, I could understand why you have to do so much training to be able to fly a plane.
On a carrier.
Can you imagine flying one of these beasts?
Tight squeeze here.
Yeah.
That looks crazy.
A lot of this kind of makes sense to me. Radar altitude.
Yeah, that's something you don't have in your
Knots.
machine.
Yeah, I don't have that. But torque.
It's turbine.
I'm guessing this guy's a pilot then.
Right. And then obviously
Turbo props.
attitude.
Yeah.
It's stuck on a 30-degree bank. I wonder what ejection looked like in a thing like this. I wonder where you even go.
Oh, interesting.
These are.
Maybe you don't.
I bet these roof panels pop off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not obvious to me if this is.
I would
It
have
was a
never
little
even thought that.
disconcerting that we couldn't see any obvious way to eject. One of the docents recommended we grab a tour of the island before the crowd swallowed it up and created a huge wait.
Okay.
So we hitched onto a tour group and followed our
look
guides,
at the stairs.
all former servicemen in the Navy or the Coast Guard, around the labyrinthian structure.
You got some exercising if you're going up and down those stairs every day. You imagine when you're running around, you have to fly up those stairs, back down again. Yeah, that's got to be a workout in its own. Like you don't need to go to the gym.
It's astounding how much the Navy figured out how to cram in such a compact metal box.
Always smokers. All right. Got it?
Oh, we got two.
Most injuries on the ship are head injuries. You can kind of guess that, can't you? Yeah. Navy loves to abbreviate everything, so you'll hear it called pry-fly. And the function of this area is this is a control tower for this floating airfield, the same way you have a control tower at the airport.
Oh, okay.
Run by these
Makes
two gentlemen
sense.
here. Now, 2 years isn't necessarily a long time for a Navy tour, but this one it can be, because they literally can be in these seats 14 to 16 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week.
Wow. Wait, if you do 7 days a week, at what, 14 to 16 hours in a day? That's mad. That is crazy. That is a lot of hours. I would have never thought that you'd do 7 days at 16 hours a day. You must be... I hope they get paid by the hour. I hope they get paid by the hour.
Any other guesses?
Is it 6 foot?
See, bent over all day long. Gosh. These are the Yalidays that we were talking about, the telescopes. Okay. And this area that you're on out here, when sailors are off duty, they can come up here and hang out, just shoot the bull with each other. And because they
cool.
can hang over and look at all the aircraft going by, like my friend in the red shirt, they say they look like a bunch of vultures. So
imagine
they call
that.
this Vultures Row.
Imagine you could just stand there watching the planes take off. When I was younger, I'd go to Heathrow and they used to have a viewing tower that you could watch planes taking off. And it's just cool to watch a plane taking off. That'd be amazing. Imagine you're on the ship and you could just stand there watching these like fighter jets taking off. And like, I would love to see a fighter jet taking off because they do look very cool when they take off. But yeah, it's so cool.
So you're on Vultures Row, all you vultures.
It's got a lot of fans. I'm guessing it gets hot in there.
Okay, we are on the navigation bridge. Basically the home to the captain. 'Cause when
Right.
we're at sea, he lives
I was
in that
interested about
chair.
this.
I mean, constant. Sacred ground, the CO's chair, commanding officer. No one sits in that chair unless it's the captain. Last year, the helmsman's father was uncomfortable giving him the keys to the family car. And here he is now. He's 19 years old. He is driving a 69,100-ton ship with 4,500 people on board.
After we weaved our way through the tiny metal doors and descended
All
the
these
impossibly
stairs.
steep stairs out of the island, Dad and I visited some of the jets we'd missed on our first pass. My father flew both the F-4 and the F-15E during
Right,
his
so
Air
his
Force
dad-
career, and he explained the various munitions
dad
and
was a
airframes
pilot
that he
as well.
recognized.
Mark 82s. You flew with Mark 82s, didn't you?
I did. We usually.
These can't be
I
real, can
carried
they?
a lot of them that were.
They wouldn't just leave
just
them on
like
there.
this, dumb bombs. But you use the same bomb body and you put a laser guidance kit on the front.
And boom, you've got a GBU
The GBU-12
12.
was this with a laser kit on the front. It created gyroscopic force that stabilizes the forecastle.
Wow.
You know, that's got to be the best person to go on a tour with, someone that knows about the planes as well and the different features that they've got. That's a good way to do the tour.
That's crazy.
All the guidance and steering's done from the front.
Right. These little flippers just kind of,
The canard steering.
yeah, canards. It's nuts.
Man, this is so cool.
It was an exact copy of this feature.
Wow. So what was the point of the vein? So it narrows the
when
gap.
You're going supersonic, the air
Oh, wow.
has to be decelerated, so
Right.
it would pinch it off and decelerate the air going into the jet phase, the number one turbine.
So this plane can go supersonic.
After we had our fill of the flight deck, we decided to make the loop through the Combat Information Center and the squadron ready rooms in the bowels of the ship.
Right.
And event number 3 is over there, we're setting it up. When event number 2 is done, we'll wipe this off. The event number 3 comes over here, we start setting up event number 4. So we're going through the day.
Check out that radar. Crazy looking.
Someone in the museum administration really likes to use creepy full-size dummies dressed as crew to give some better sense of what life was like on the carrier.
Oh, wow.
But all I could think about was how eerie this whole
He's
place
worn out
must
that
be
map.
at night when the crowds are gone and it's just these weird dolls inhabiting the silent darkness.
I
Can you
hope
imagine?
you'll think about the extraordinary dedication of my crew as you continue your tour. They make Midway magic every day. Thanks for coming aboard.
Wow, that was a really interesting video. I'd definitely enjoy going on a tour around that. Yeah, just looking at it and checking it out. They didn't show the living quarters, which I would have been interested to see that. I'm guessing the tour might take a while, and to get it into a 10-minute video, I guess would be quite hard. But yeah, I feel like there was parts that I would have liked to see and wasn't in the video. But definitely a good video, really enjoyed it. Very interesting to see the different areas on that ship. And to obviously find out little things that I didn't know about already. But if you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. And I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. It massively helps out the channel we're growing. But for now, I'll see you on the next reaction.